So what we saw there is riots in the UK over anti-immigration. The Brits have had enough. Riots everywhere. This follows the stabbing and murder of 3 children and seven critically injured, including the teacher as well, in Southport in the UK by an immigrant. Well, his parents were immigrants. And people just had enough. And so they went rioting all over the UK. What happened? Straight away, the government went in full in. They immediately early released 500 prisoners. Straight away, were taken out. They kept the courts open for 24 hours. Unheard of in the UK. Kept the courts open 24 hours. They have found and arrested 400 people within 24 hours. They found and have arrested and already charged 400 people. They're about to charge them for terrorist charges, trumped up terrorist charges. This is January 6th, the American January 6th on steroids, right? They've pursued these people. Now, this is from a police force that couldn't close one burglary up till June this year. They couldn't solve one burglary up till June this year, right? The whole UK, one burglary. That's how bad they are, because they just don't care. How many muggings have they solved? How many robberies have they solved? Virtually nothing, maybe 1%. But this, they already, within one day, using surveillance and special deep state stuff, I don't know what they do, they found, arrested 400, charged them, and they're about to be done for terror crimes. And they've got no space, prisons are full, they early released 500 people. Okay, you got that? Good. Now, let's see what happened in the Muslim side yesterday. Okay, so that was over the weekend. Saturday, Sunday was the anti-immigration, and then yesterday basically was the MDL, the Muslim Defense League. Let's see what they did yesterday.
Community leaders have been speaking to the police as well, because
free Palestine. Free Palestine, fuck India.
Right, I think, apologies for the language you're hearing, but a sense of the anger, I think you can hear there.
Yeah, Katie, I think Becky, I apologise. We need to leave you there, and Becky, we'll have security there, and we will leave that, and I apologise once again for the language there. Our political...
So that was a Sky News reporter, hounded on TV, for daring to even come there. There was another Sky News presenter, by the way, who did the same thing. They got their tyre slashed. They ran out of town, got their tyre slashed. Both those posts were taken off Sky News. Obviously, we don't want to offend anyone. And amazingly, they haven't found the perpetrators. They're looking for them, but they haven't found them. But don't worry, all the white ones, they found them and they arrested them, and they're already arrested and charged. But these guys, we haven't found them yet. We don't know who they are. Now, where does this also come from? It comes from the week before, where Muslims went and beat up 3 police officers in an airport, broke one of the women police officers' nose, and then, well, let's have a look what they did. So they did all that, and guess what happened? Come on, you ready? You ready? The policeman was suspended for kicking a poor, innocent guy who just beaten up his colleague and broken her nose, and all 3 got released. All the 3 Muslims are totally released next day. So this is where we are. Total release, no problems. There you go. Next thing, let's go for the next thing that they've done. Grooming gangs, the Rotherham grooming gangs, many other grooming gangs. In the last 10 months, they basically took over the London streets for 10 months, destroyed, ran over, went over war memorials, took over British flags everywhere for 10 months. Took over the whole city centres, right? Nothing, not one arrest. Yesterday, they hammered a white guy with a hammer, one guy on his head bleeding. And then they beat up this random guy. I don't know the footage here. I'm sorry, it's on Twitter. You can find it. They ran up and beat up a guy. Then there was a guy outside a pub. They went into the pub, beat this guy up. He's actually got lacerated liver damage now. Oh, and they smashed up the pub. No police around. No arrests. No comment on the MSM media either. This is yesterday. Again, the whites went and rioted. No damage. Again, there was police harm. It's true, but actual citizens, not a single person was beaten up. On the other side, the Muslims hammered. Then they got the lacerated liver, and then they beat up a random guy on the side. Oh, and obviously the grooming gangs, less than 100 arrests in 10 months. They let off a guy who said jihad, 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 saying no, jihad doesn't actually mean killing people. It's not incitement to violence. It means love. Not arrested. Next one, I'll never forget. The Jewish guy was arrested for wearing a Star of David. Next one, the English guy who was annoyed about the Palestinian flags on his road, they came to his door and arrested him. Again, we're talking about tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Muslims every single week for 10 months, right? Less than 100 arrests, all let off. Oh, the head of one of the Muslim terrorist groups in the UK was an NHS doctor. He was suspended. And obviously, once I saw that word, I knew what would happen. And he's already been allowed back to work. So nothing's going to happen to this. We have the white people arrested from 2 days ago. One of them was a corporate director crying in court. Doesn't matter. He's going down to jail for sure. And he's probably going to be trumped up on terror charges. That's how you silence the people. That's how you keep them silent. That's it. That is the last time you'll see any demonstration in the UK for a long time. Sorry to tell you. And the Muslims have free reign. Don't worry. You are well protected, guys. Nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing's going to be talked about. 10 months of taking over people's streets, rape gangs, murders, actual stabbing kids. Nothing's going to happen to you. Not a word. They won't care. They burnt the buses in Leeds 2 weeks ago. Those people haven't been charged. They rioted in Leeds 2 weeks ago due to a Roma family having a kid taken away because they were beating him up. They returned the child, and they still trashed the whole city centre. No arrests. White people do the same thing 1 week later after the disaster in Manchester and after the murder of 3 kids, and people just having enough. Day after day, the same thing. Every single person is arrested and trumped up charges. That is the UK now. It's basically Stalin. It is the USSR. Please stop telling me it's a free country. Please stop telling me it's a democracy. Labour landslide with 20% of the vote. Please stop telling me any of this. There's no free speech. There's no nothing. It's a total joke. It is literally the USSR. Enjoy. I don't want to hear a word of it. It is the USSR.